It is Sunday, the 3rd of December, 2017. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal. I'm in the middle of my alternative spiritual practice of protesting against Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy. Oh, here comes David Rollert, the husband of the minister. So we'll just see if he has anything to say for himself today. So he got his dark glasses on, hiding the bags under his eyes. So, you don't look too happy to see me, David. Oh, a smirk, another smirk. You know what they say, when you smirk and smile, you're in denial. Remember that? Oh, look, I'm laughing. I love your wayside pulpit sign. It's hilarious. When you smirk and smile, you're in denial. Oh, looks like Dave's pulling out his cell phone. Yeah. Maybe he's checking his text messages, or maybe he's doing something stupid like calling the police because I'm talking to him, telling him he's in denial about Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse, cover-up, and denial. Denial of denial, of denial of denial. It goes on and on and on and on. So anyhow, maybe he wants to film me. That's fine. If he wants to film me, he can put up on Facebook. YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. Be my guest. So anyhow, where were we? Oh yeah, we were talking about, to some extent, we were talking about Sue Montgomery and how helpless children have been raped by Unitarian Universalist ministers and Sunday school teachers. But the Gazette's retired justice reporter, Sue Montgomery, who happens to also be a... What? I'm blocking they ran right past me, you asshole. You're falsely accusing me of blocking the sidewalk for children. That's what you're doing. They ran right by me. They had a good foot and a half behind me. So you are, sir, just making more false accusations about me. Oh, look, he just walked by me. Look, he just walked by me, you asshole. You're making false accusations. I'm not blocking anything. They're walking right by me. You're a moron if you think I'm blocking the sidewalk. A total moron making up false accusations. Call the police, tell them I'm blocking the sidewalk, asshole. So anyway, getting back to Sue Montgomery. Maybe you wanted to distract me from talking about Sue Montgomery. We'll get back to that. Oh, look who's here. Another Unitarian Universalist who's totally complicit in the cover-up and denial of clergy abuse. But anyway, here's an example of the bullshit false accusations that are made against me. Dave Roll is accusing me of blocking the sidewalk. Well, look, even though my picket sign is extending somewhat into the sidewalk temporarily, because I'm in the middle of a little, there's still a good foot and a half of sidewalk there. People can easily walk by me. And if they do think I'm blocking me, they can ask me to move a bit, but nobody did that. Nobody said boo, nobody in any way said that they felt that I was blocking the sidewalk. So anyway, let's get back to what we were saying about Sue Montgomery's involvement, because she's another person who made, as far as I'm concerned, bullshit accusations to the police that were exaggerations at best, but may have been outright lies, possibly. So yes, helpless children have been raped by Unitarian Universalist ministers. It's funny, like he's saying I'm blocking the sidewalk. Dave, can you explain to me? Can you explain to me why blocking the sidewalk, for children is worse than turning a blind eye to pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers? Can you explain that one to me, David? I'd really like to know why you think my alleged blocking of the sidewalk is a bad thing, but Unitarian Universalist ministers and Sunday school teachers raping children is something that you can just ignore and pretend doesn't happen and isn't worth worrying about. Explain that one to me, Dave. So anyway, getting back to the helpless children who have in fact been raped by Unitarian Universalist ministers such as Reverend Mac Wallace Mitchell and Sunday school teachers such as Stephen Craig Bullite. But the Gazette's retired justice reporter and Montreal Unitarian, now deputy mayor of Montreal, Sue Montgomery, never reported the Unitarian Universalist Association's immoral, unethical, borderline criminal, if you don't mind my saying so, bat shit, crazy misuse of Canada's archaic blasphemy law in Unitarian Universalist Association, clergy, sex abuse, cover-up and denial, legal bullying. So yeah, Sue, sorry about that, but that's a very truthful statement. Basically 100% true. So it's not libel, Sue. You may not like me telling the truth about you, but the best thing you could do is just acknowledge that it is the truth and make amends. Enter into a truth and reconciliation process with me, Sue. And maybe you'll find that your life gets a little bit more full of some integrity. Oh, you know, the integrity you claim to have, which you obviously don't have. Can't even answer a simple, straightforward question about your integrity. And hiding behind Francois Limoges and Valerie Plante to avoid having to answer a question. Yeah, you're such a tough cookie, Sue. Such a tough cookie, Sue. What a joke. So, anyway, you know, these they actually do make me laugh, like literally laugh. You know, like this is not feigned laughter, you know. And laughter is the shortest distance between two people, according to this Victor Borgia saying on the Unitarian Church of Montreal's wayside pulpit. So, you know, obviously he meant that in a very positive way, you know, that basically sharing in laughter is the shortest distance between two people. But also, you know, if you laugh at someone, if you're like, you know, rudely and maybe even abusively laughing at someone, well, that makes the distance pretty short too, because people don't enjoy being laughed at very much. But unfortunately, you know, I just can't help laughing about some of the things that Unitarians are doing. I mean, I literally burst out laughing, literally. You know, I'm reading the cease and desist demand letter that Maitre Marc-André Coulombe was hired to write and have me served with in June of 2012, and I'm like halfway through the first page and I'm burst out laughing, you know, like this is insane, this is totally ludicrous, you know, and when I saw the second page it was even more insane. So, you know, sometimes spontaneous laughter at things that really are, you know, either funny or just totally ludicrous in a bad kind of way, is normal. You know? So I've had plenty of laughter. You know, here's as I said, you know, just earlier, David's accusing me of blocking the sidewalk for children. Oh, what a terrible crime! I'm blocking the sidewalk from children, except that I'm not. And they walked right by me, ran right by me. They didn't say boo. They had lots of room to go right by me. And yet here's David Rollert, who doesn't seem the least bit concerned that children have been raped by Unitarian Universalist ministers and Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers. His religious community, his larger religious community, the Unitarian Universalist religious community. Oh look, I just blocked a jogger, didn't I? So, except I didn't. So anyhow, getting back to things, the Unitarian Universalist religious community is falsely accusing me of a crime in an effort to hide such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape from the public, and Dave doesn't seem the least bit concerned about that. Dave is totally complicit, as far as I'm concerned, as is every other Montreal Unitarian, or former Montreal Unitarian for that matter. I'm not sure what Sue Montgomery's status is currently in terms of being a Montreal Unitarian. I know she certainly was in the mid-2000s, and I'd say, you know, I think she was still a Unitarian Universalist, or certainly a Unitarian Universalist sympathizer in December 6th of 2012 when I told her about the Unitarian Universalist Association's false blasphemous libel accusation against me, and asked her to duly investigate and report on that, which she refused to do. Yeah, we're having fun today. And so far, you know, the only negative response to my protest has come from David Rollert and other Montreal Unitarians. You know, so far I've got a honked horn and thumbs up and a person saying you're courageous from one person. I haven't had a whole lot of other positive public response, but it's not like everyone who goes by expresses what they feel about the protest. But as I said, it's generally the positive responses outweigh the negative ones very significantly. I'd say the positive to negative ratio is at least 8-2 and more like 9-1. So, you know, the 1 or 2 out of 10 people who object to my protest, well, as far as I'm concerned, that's their problem, not mine. So, looks like David's going in. And, yeah, so anyway, you know, one of the reasons I record all this stuff is because people do make all kinds of false accusations. You know, Dave, you know, accused me of blocking the sidewalk, and not doing that at all. You know, yes, I'm partially on the sidewalk. You're supposed to be on the sidewalk when you're protesting. And yes, I do have a couple of big picket signs, and if I stick them down on the ground temporarily, you know, they might block a significant portion of the sidewalk, but they don't block all of it. There's lots of room for people to go by me. And I rarely have the picket signs down like that. It's only when I'm discussing a situation with someone or filming or something that I might do that. And yeah, actually, I will try to be more conscientious in future and make sure that when I do put them down, that I put them down in front of me so that they're not even blocking the sidewalk, you know, more than I am. You know, I didn't even realize, really, you know, what was going on there, but his claim that I'm blocking the sidewalk is just false, really. And again, you know, it's not willful. If somebody said, hey, your picket signs are in my way, I'd move them out of the way. But nobody did. They had plenty of room to go by, and that's exactly what they did. They made not the slightest complaint about my alleged blocking of the sidewalk. So I guess David Rollert was full of shit, if you don't mind my being a little bit rude, but also very truthful about David Rollert's claim that I'm blocking the sidewalk from children. And yes, the hypocrisy is truly stunning. This guy, to the best of my knowledge, has never spoken out against such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers and certain Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers. He has never, to the best of my knowledge, spoken out against the Unitarian Universalist Association's immoral and unethical and borderline criminal, if you don't mind my saying so, batshit crazy, false, blasphemous libel accusation against me. So he's totally complicit in those things. Hey, Harvey, what a wonderful day it is to be accused of blasphemy in the 21st century by atheist Unitarians. I love it. It's truly glorious. So that's Harvey Shepard, former Gazette religion columnist. But getting back to David Rollert, besides never speaking out against pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers and Sunday school teachers and so on, besides never speaking out against the Unitarian Universalist Association's attempts to conceal such despicable crimes from the public by falsely accusing me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel, David Rollert, if I remember correctly, has directly participated in erasing my chalk slogans that expose and denounce sexual abuse of children by Unitarian Universalist ministers and the cover-up and denial of sexual abuse of children by Unitarian Universalists. So David is actually part of the cover-up. He's part of the problem. He's an active participant in Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse cover-up. You know, when I got excuse me, looks like my headphones got caught up here, but you know, if I have a slogan saying Unitarians cover up clergy abuse, and that one's quite general, you know, it doesn't say child sex abuse, but if I have a slogan that says Unitarians cover up clergy abuse, informing the public about the fact that Unitarians cover up clergy abuse and so on, and David comes along with a hose and erases it, well, Dave is part of the cover-up. He's an active participant. He's not just passively complicit. He's a knowing and willful participant in Unitarian Universalist efforts to conceal clergy abuse of all kinds, but sexual abuse of children in particular. So well done, David Rollert, you know, for Rollert. Why am I calling him Rollert, you know? Maybe because he's so artful in his bullshit lies about me. But anyway, getting back to getting back to Mr. Roller. Yeah, you, sir, are totally complicit in all of the injustices and abuses and hypocrisy that I am protesting against. So you shouldn't be being so foolish as to accuse me of blocking the sidewalk to children when you are enabling the rape of children by Unitarian Universalist ministers. Because if you don't speak out against it, if you do nothing to ensure that the Unitarian Universalist Association comes clean about sexual abuse of children, then you are helping keep that concealed, and basically you're making it possible for the problem to continue rather than to be responsibly addressed fully by the Unitarian Universalist Association. So well done, David Roller. So anyhow, we'll just continue to circulate here, but I am obviously expressing my, or I should say, I'm exercising my Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, civil rights to engage in freedom of expression and freedom of opinion. I think my opinion is actually quite reasonable based on all the evidence. It's not like some outrageous opinion that you know, has almost no basis in fact. On the contrary, everything I'm saying about Sue Montgomery and Montreal Unitarians and Unitarian Universalist Association is supported by evidence. I now have video evidence of David Rollard accusing me of blocking the sidewalk to children when I'm doing no such thing. And yet, there's evidence, clear evidence, that David Rollard has erased my chalk slogans that protest against sexual abuse of children by Unitarian Universalists. I think we call that hypocrisy. I think that's the word. And yes, I certainly believe that David Rollard is just one of the outrageous hypocrites that populate the